So, thank you for the merriment here, and thank you for patience from anyone who's been involved. We were experiencing technical difficulties, so we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Welcome to Cult Fans, episode 2, where today we have two very special guests. First, Sonalii Castillo, who has gracefully allotted us 2 weeks of coverage. Most of our viewers may spot her as Essa in The Outpost, but we'll talk Outpost and Essa after she premieres. She's featured in CSI, NCIS, Heroes, and more, as well as writing, directing, and starring in award-winning films, Dalias, and more recently writing, producing, and starring in hot film Mamba. And if you ask Adam Rayner of The Saint, she has a mean hook. She has a list of upcoming work, but today we'll mostly be featuring her new project, Voodoo Vanessa. In covering Voodoo Vanessa, Sonalii's friend Monia Ayachi is also here. She's creator and writer and star of award-winning Ignofear and For the Love of Hate. Ignofear shows the heart-wrenching parallelism of modern politics against the horrors of the past, and if you haven't seen it yet, I highly advise it. But leave your heart in pieces at the door. Monia has a long list of roles across the industry, including a run on General Hospital and over 150 episodes in various production capacity at E! News International, and stars alongside Sonalii as Alex in Voodoo Vanessa. Now, with that minded, we'll get to our feature, pretending I have all of the fancy things I had. Now, I'm Minerva, there's TJ, and there's Shay. Everyone can wave. We're cult fans, but let's really get to who everyone is here for. God bless you all and your patience, and for those who would follow you. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Okay, so I've already asked you twice how you're doing. I'm happy y'all are having a good day. Still, hopefully so, even with our difficulties.
We're having a fabulous day. Yes.
Mercury in retrograde. Okay, so I do have a few different questions for you. Monia, you probably have an idea of what I'm going to ask. You have this diverse resume, but you've got a lot of dedicated work for the representation of misunderstood communities founded in reality. Can you tell the audience about what motivates you to make heart-sundering but painfully realistic films?
Okay, so as I was saying earlier, I have a big mouth and I have a lot to say, and I'm a multicultural mutt myself. My dad is Tunisian and my mom is Belgian, and I was raised in a multicultural home. And what happened to my great-grandfather back in World War II is that he was taken away by the Nazis. Lovely. And my grandma told me her story 6 months before she died. And I felt like I had to make a parallel between what happened back then and what is currently going on in America, where people are now hating on different ethnic groups. And in this case, I felt compelled to stand up for the Muslim community because of my dad being Muslim and all of his family being Muslim. And I felt like they were being persecuted. And so I just couldn't stay quiet and couldn't stay still. And I decided to write the film, and I'm sure it pissed off a lot of people, but that's okay, right? And I have no problem pissing people off, because the message that I had is a message of truth and of tolerance, and so some people loved it, some people didn't, and that's okay. Again, I'm always happy to talk about it. And then I did another film called For the Love of Hate that is now in post-production. It is almost done, and that talks about also a little bit of the hate that is going on. Again, I talked about the Muslim community. This film talks about a lot of different issues, different current issues, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. But I can't say too much about it. But I can talk a little bit more about Ignofear, because that has been released. So I feel like people have forgotten what happened back in the 1940s. Like, the generations after us are not really aware. Like, when I talk to 14, 15-year-olds, they're like, oh, what happened? I'm like, really? Like, you don't remember? And so when people forget what happened in the past, they are more inclined to make the same mistakes again. And I wrote the film as a warning, and I feel like all my films in the future are going to have a strong message, because that's who I am, and I feel like that's why I'm a filmmaker. And every project that I'm going to put my heart and soul into has to have something and start a conversation. And I always say, if I can open one person's mind and change one person's mind, then I've won. So yeah, so that's that.
Okay, now, for anyone that is interested in your work, we are going to be visiting you again in the near future, so people can stay tuned, subscribe, follow along, and we'll be doing a deeper dive on Ignofear, I believe it is. Correct?
Yes, Ignofear.
Okay, perfect. So before we get to the deep details of Voodoo Vanessa, Sonalii, you're currently preparing to appeal to streaming on demand services, and you might, I don't know if you have a pitch ready yet, but can you more pitch to the audience what kind of demographic you're reaching out to, and what inspires your content and what really brought you to work together on this?
Oh, my motivation for Voodoo Vanessa in a whole is family. I remember my best times when I was younger in France, actually, when my mom would work a long week, we would, at the end of the week, she would make this amazing homemade dinner. And then we knew that at a certain time after dinner, everybody sits on the couch and we all watch the same program. And to me, nowadays, I feel like everybody has a program. Grandma, auntie, daddy, sister, everybody goes on their own corner in their own devices and nobody sits down together. Not really, not anymore, because there's so much content available for every genre, every age group. So for me, I wanted to do something that the entire family can enjoy. Yes, the humor is a little bit on the dark side, but I think that there's enough cheekiness and silly things, that people can that people can sit and enjoy and scratch their heads about. And so when I'm ready to finally pitch it to the networks and to the platforms that I want to pitch it to, is that we need a family show. We need a family show that's going to make you laugh. We need a family show that's going to, where art imitates life. I'm all about that. And so when I met Monia, we've been friends for a year and a half, 2 years before I told her what I wanted to do and how I wanted to go about it. And we're very similar, but we look so different that nobody would ever know. And so she understands my humor and she understands my twisted little darkness, and she's not afraid of topics. So we just, she said, sure. And I'm like, I'm going to pick on you a lot though. I'm going to do some weird shit. You're going to have to be okay with that. And so if you've taken the time, if you've looked at the series, I put Alex through a lot. She thinks she gets me in a few instances, and then I turn the tables. So that's fun, because she was willing to play and go with every crazy thing that I threw at her. And I think in our real friendship and our real banter and our real issues that we kind of threw in the series, yeah, they are. Yeah, let's just say that Voodoo Vanessa is 80%. Actually, wait, that's a lot. It is 70% real and 30% fiction. And you're going to have to figure out which one is which, because I'm not going to tell you. So if I was going to pitch to the audience, I'm like, listen, you have vampires, you have The Walking Dead, zombies, you have all these shows, and it's so serious. And then you go to slapstick laughter and everything, but there's nothing really in the middle that teaches you about different cultures and shows you a different side to the Latinos, because I'm Caribbean, I'm a Latina Caribbean. And so there's not a lot of shows that focus on the Caribbean world. So I wanted to do a story about a Caribbean woman that moves from New York to LA and meets LA people and has to figure out how to deal with LA people and their unusual way of life. So it's just family fun, and everybody can I just want people to wonder what was real, what wasn't, and why did she do that, and just to think and laugh and have fun, and that everybody can enjoy. And I've tested it on my family, from my niece, who at the time was 13 years old, and to my nephew, who was 8, and they all laughed, whether they understood the jokes or not. The expressions and the moments are so ridiculous. That everybody just seems to be enjoying it so far, and that's why it's doing so well in festivals and it's winning awards.
It won.
It won. We just recently won an award for best web series. Yeah, so it's doing well and it's being well received.
Yeah.
So our quirky sense of way of being and our
Dark sense of humor.
a little bit. It's fun.
All right. Thank you for that. No, really. I love your work. I'm trying not to step on too many toes and turn into some sort of fan. So but you are genuinely
Stop.
You are genuinely hilarious. And I do advise anyone, we'll be dealing with different interviews covering different topics. Next week, we'll be touching on, your character is Essa. But any Outpost viewers tuning in, I highly advise you check out her Voodoo Vanessa. It is genuinely hilarious, and we can hope to see it go all the way. Now, for the audience, we will be collecting any questions from the live chat to ask at the end of the feed. Please remember that she does return next week after her premiere as Essa, so depending on if there's a high volume, those may be held for next week. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll try to squeeze them in today, and if not, we'll get to them next week. So before we transition there, I just wanted to say thank you, girls. Thank you for your time. And now I'm going to pass the baton to Tim. He can go ahead and take it from here.
Thank you. And hello, everyone. For those that haven't met me yet, I'm TJ. And welcome to Sonalii and Monia. And thank you for giving up your time to chat with cult fans. So let's start small. What do you both feel makes Voodoo Vanessa different from other shows? And I think you've already covered this part, but who do you consider your target audience?
Go ahead. I'm still adorning.
I think Sonalii put it in the right words earlier. I think there's no real show right now that kind of talks about the Caribbean community and a little bit of their culture. So I think that's very, very hard to focus. Ooh, I like it. And not a lot of shows talk about voodoo and all of that, and that's really who she is, So to me, it's unique because this is Sonalii's show, and there's no other Sonalii.
Yeah. Oh no, there isn't. No.
Interesting person and just an interesting human being. So there's no other show like it, So to me, that's what makes it different. Is that this is, like she said, it's like 60% truth and then 40% fiction. And I think what she said too, like it can appeal to all ages, which is really great. And it's fun, and life can be so dramatic and so serious. That it's light and the episodes are pretty short. So for people's attention spans of 3 minutes nowadays, I think it can it appeal to those people too. So that's my answer.
Nice.
Thank you very much. I've worked on it very hard.
There you go.
Have you got something to add there, Sonalii?
Wait, so in the midst of my being silly, I completely missed that question, even though I heard everything she just said. So that I don't go on a 10-minute banter. What was the question?
Just mainly like what makes it different from other shows, because like Cloak and Dagger is really the only one that has a little bit of voodoo. And who do you consider your target audience? Like initially, besides you.
I'm in it. What makes it different? This is what I think makes it different. It is being written by a Caribbean woman who has spent time and studied with people from all backgrounds and culture in the mystical world. My mother is going to be very upset, by the way, but she doesn't watch YouTube, so I think we're okay, except my uncle does. Oh, shit. Okay, so... So here's the thing. I'm a very curious person by nature, and I grew up in a very religious home. But for me, there was always something about the mysticism and this fear that everybody puts on certain, whether you want to call them religions, whether you want to call them, how else would you say? It's not a religion.
Cultures?
Beliefs and cultures. I speak 3 languages. I can't speak one today. Yay. So beliefs and cultures. And so what I wanted to do was, with keeping the respect and the understanding of those cultures, I wanted to show the audience the light-hearted fun of it, even though I do, cause a little bit of mayhem in episode 3, the Euros. They asked for it. It's just I wanted to show something different. I wanted to show something that was written by somebody who knows what the hell she's talking about. And if I don't know what I'm talking about, I have plenty of friends who have done this their entire lives and who will tell me, don't show that's disrespectful. Yeah, you can talk about this. Go ahead and show this. That's keeping it in line. So I think it's important to have historical facts, to have the right knowledge when you write about things, because I have watched a lot of shows and I have gotten offended for my friends because they do not shine the right light on it. I have seen symbols used for one show that has nothing to do with what's going on, that belongs to another culture. And I'm like, I don't want to be them if they're run by the street by somebody who actually follows that culture. And I think that there's a lot of disrespect that happens on television where the research and the history is not done properly. So besides with keeping with the humor, besides with bringing our lives and our banter, and we're women. People have no idea what women go through, man. They don't. From getting ready, relationships, or when two women live together, it's like, she's got daddy issues. I like to date younger men. It's like, come on. It's like everybody hears about it, but nobody writes about it. And it's a way of making fun of ourselves. We've grown. I'm happy to say we've grown.
That's it.
A lot in this past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it's now the opposite. No, kidding.
We're trying. We're rubbing off on each other. But you know what I mean? It's just bringing something that the whole family can enjoy, also bringing the accuracy of it so that that taboo or that fear is not in it. And so I do believe that it's something different because even though other shows are touching on voodoo or anything else that I'm going to be bringing up, they're showing the dark side of it. Yeah. And as any religion, as in any culture, there's not just darkness. There's light, there's fun, there's realness, and there's humanity. And so that's what I'm bringing to the table is all those things with all the trouble that we get into and cause and all the crazy and mayhem. Just a little bit. So that's what I wanted to give the audience so that people can go, stop being so afraid of something because they don't understand it. Ask questions. Ask smart questions that don't come off stupid and don't offend the person who believes in that culture and in that religion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus I'm in Hollywood. Why the hell not? I mean, almost hit her. So keep my hands over here.
That moment sent us viral.
Sorry. But I'm excited. But no, so and that's a side of me that people don't know about because I'm here with you and we're talking about it. I'm doing ESSA Con, and in a way I love ESSA because I feel, we do not know until season 2, if we're blessed enough to have a season 2, where the writers are going to take ESSA, but I would love for them to just even ask me more because they got a lot of my input about the way she looked and that third eye she's wearing, and they wanted me to be happy with her. And I love her so much, and I would love to be able to, if we get a season 2 and if ESSA gets to come back, to be able to delve into that because I feel like ESSA is so earthy. She's a nomadic warrior, and that's a lot of, in that culture, in who those people were at the time. And so I want to bring as much of me as possible to everything and anything I do, which everybody does. But I think because I'm from a different culture and a different world that is not really talked about, I think that it's worth exploring.
Yeah, thank you. You're currently appealing to streaming services for a pickup. If picked up, are you wanting to rewrite season 1 into longer episodes to bring people in from the beginning?
Yes.
Or would you remap the collective shorts as a pilot? Yes. Or would you just jump into season 2?
You know what? I already have season 2 planned if I was going to keep it these 5-7 minutes episodes. We already, we've talked about it. Monia and I have talked about, different things and what we're going to do and how we're going to terrorize people. But come on, who doesn't want to terrorize people? And plus, we're cute, so we get away with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So use it to our advantage. What? No, but you know what I mean? So what I want to do, if I'm blessed, and let's just say Netflix goes, show me what you got.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. For example, that interview when her and I first, all you see is when we meet. All you see is when she realizes that I'm a little bit different and a little bit psycho. But you don't, you don't see her moving in. You don't see the center of first, roommates in the beginning, from how we sleep, from what we wear, from her having some daddy visiting. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Your dad is here. Oh, that's not my dad. That's my ex-boyfriend. I want us to get back together. There's so many things, there's so many things that we haven't shown that if we had the 30 minutes, or I guess with commercials, it would be 24 minutes, 25 minutes.
No commercials. Yeah, wait for it.
Oh, shh. So if I have 30 minutes, could you imagine the crazy shit I can put her through? Oh my God. You have no idea. In episode, I think it's episode 6. In episode 6, where my aunt wants to iron her hair. You know who came up with that shit? You know who came up with that shit? My mother. My religious 5'2" mother. Because that's what they used to do in the old days. They used to iron hair. So you don't understand the treasure trove of information and shit I can put her through. And the guests, are you kidding? Come on. Come on.
It's never ending show.
Never ending the stuff I got up my
95
sleeve.
seasons.
So that actually leads perfectly into the next one, because beyond streaming services and pickup, what's the long-term plan for Voodoo Vanessa? Like, do you have a plan for multiple seasons? That
Oh my
ties
God.
in really well.
You know what? I've only gotten to the episode 1. The episode 1, oh, Gypsy. The episode 1, the season 1, I mean. Season 1 is really, it's my pitch. I made it short. I had a beginning, a middle, and an end for each episode. But it's my pitch to any network, to Netflix, to whomever wants to help me make that happen, so they can see the humor, so they can see our relationship, so they can see what I have in store. I've only written down ideas up to season 2, because we would have to redo season 1 and elongate on each episode to the full 30 minutes of each episode, and then we go into season 2. I can go on forever, dude. I mean,
Do it.
I've got aunts, I've got my mother, I've got my aunts, I've got the cousins, I've got people in the Caribbean that I haven't even, are you kidding me right now? I have my friends who are in that culture. Come on, dude. Endless well of possibilities here.
So 95 seasons.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Do it.
Your grandchildren, you know.
The fiance that Vanessa stood up at the altar, I mean, that one's going to be amazing. The voodoo doll cookies I haven't made yet, are you kidding me? Come on.
50-year series. The tone of episodes 5A and B, as I call them, or 5 and 6 as you've called them, is a much different approach with the appearance of Vanessa's aunt, played by Big Bang Theory actress Elena Campbell Martinez. I think I said that right. How did this shake things up for Alex and Vanessa from your characters' points of view?
Okay, I was talking like a rude person. How does it what between point of view?
How did this shake things up for Alex and Vanessa from your characters' points of view? Like, Alex has to be crazy to like blindside you like that.
First of all, who the hell calls a relative or accepts a call and gives him an address? You ask Vanessa first, why don't you have this? Why don't you give your address? There's a reason why I don't give my family an address. But it shakes things up because up until that point, it's just been me causing mayhem for everybody. And I wanted to turn the tables on Vanessa and give Alex a chance to cause mischief, you know? And so what ended up happening, though, the joke's on her.
I tried, y'all. I did. I tried.
Because she has no idea who she invited home.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing behind it is I wanted to give Alex a chance to show her mischievous side. And then she bails on me. Fucker. But the thing is, for example, I left home young because I wanted to do my life. I wanted to do whatever. And I live so far away from my family. And I do have a crazy aunt. I love her to death, but we all have our strong characters. We all have these aunts, and I'm crazy. I have my own sort of fucking crazy, as you know, you and I talk all the time. So I wanted to show Vanessa's humanity because up until that point, she was just causing trouble and driving this one crazy and bringing ghosts and ancestors and my dog that shows up in every scene. And so I wanted to give a little bit of background about Vanessa because there's so much more to her. There's so much more to her story.
I think like that episode was important in the sense that you want to make her likable and relatable. You know what I mean? So once you bring in family and that you see what she actually goes through, why she left, you know, and my character, you know, Alex did that to her. I think it shows a different side of her really, and again, like in every show, you want to feel for the character. Like you don't want, if she's only causing trouble and all of that, then people are like, what the fuck, like screw that girl, you know what I mean? But if you bring in family member and family, everybody can relate to family. I have a great family. Like, no offense, Mom. Like, you're great. That I feel like it just, again, like it showed a different side and a sweeter side, and yeah, and I think the audience can go, oh, okay, I understand why she's this way and why she left, and I like her and I feel for her, you know, like I think that's what that episode is about. But again, like, I get screwed in the end, like as usual.
Yeah, I was just like, Alex, you really have you learned nothing?
With my aunt, she bailed. Wait till season 2. I'm gonna get her so good. I'm not gonna tell you never because surprise, but I'm gonna get her in the first episode of season 2. She's so screwed. Watch.
You run a lot of slow burn jokes across multiple episodes. Do you intend to keep this a feature if you turn into full feature episodes along the seasons?
Oh, like
Is
if
it
I
like
wanted
the chicken reference? Like you slow burn that over, like you made that reference in episode 5, I think it was. Like, is that something you intend to keep if you do, say, get Netflix or whatever and do it as a season-long burn?
Oh, what do you mean? Like introducing something in the beginning and bring it back in another episode?
Also, like you just like slow burn the joke. Like I think it was in the Euros. Like when you spoke Spanish the whole time, but it wasn't really revealed to the end. Is that something you would probably do and keep in episodes?
Oh, yeah. Why change what works?
Yeah.
I think that's what works. What I love is that there's so many things that happen in the very beginning that I bring back up in other episodes, because what I think a lot of a series forget is that you watch season 1, by the time you get to season 7, you don't know what the hell is going on. Because
continuity.
It's so different. And so I want to always, no matter how far I can take it, if I'm blessed enough to do that, I want to bring things up from the first time I met her, but you know, do you remember when I met you and you and your daddy issues, now you got this hot young guy, something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's
reality, by the way. This is true.
Hi, baby.
What? So you have the issues in real life? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm bringing all that shit in there. I'm bringing it all. I'm trying to tell you, Voodoo Vanessa is 70% real and 30% fake.
We brought it back to 70. 70%.
Oh, it's totally 70. Are you kidding
70.
me? Yeah, it's just that the audience, you know, that's
depending
the
on the episodes, like 60-40, 70-40, and then they're probably 100% true at some point, you know?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, she's right. I just did it as a whole. No, but definitely, I think that it's important to always remind people who the characters are and where they came from. If you just all of a sudden you're watching, let's say, season 5 of Voodoo Vanessa, and people tune in, and throughout the entire season, there's not one mention of how she got to where she is. I think there's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because I want somebody who watches season whatever, that if they don't want to go back to season 1, they understand the relationships, understand why, they understand I don't know how to explain that very well, but do you know where I'm getting at? So I will always prolong a joke. Like, for example, on episode 2, I kill a chicken. Then on episodes 5 or 6, I'm vegan, and there's a reason. So that's why I do those things. And
it's like the little fan references, so the people that have watched it still get it, but it's still something there. Yeah.
So they can go,
Currently, you do the writing, Sonalii, but do you have any writers in mind if Voodoo Vanessa gets picked up?
I do. I have a very good friend of mine, one of my oldest friends. Her name is Brandy Stillwell. She's brilliant. She is incredibly funny. She's a writer. She actually is writing her own comic book right now. It's called Sasquatch Detective in DC, in the DC world. And she has this unique sense of humor that I really love. And she does stand-up and all these things. And she's just fucking funny, man. And, you know, not to be racist or anything, but for a white girl, her humor is dark, you know?
For a white girl. I like that.
Well, you know, no offense.
It's true.
Thank you. It's usually rom-comedy. Like, a lot of my stuff doesn't get into festivals because I'm either action or dark humor. And a lot of people don't like that. And they want the, like, Monia stories, the heart, wrenching, whatever. Then the rom-com, funny, love story. I'm just like, no, I'm going to either kill or kick somebody's ass, or I'm just going to be doing some voodoo shit over here.
Or both at the same time.
Or both at the same time. Ooh.
Aha! You shall come in. So stay tuned for Voodoo Mamba.
Yes. Ooh, that actually
Crossover. Crossover.
Woo! Boom!
Voodoo Mamba crossover. There you go.
Yes, but so Brandy actually, Brandy was the one who gave me the idea for the rooster. And then I stopped and I looked at her and I'm like, did I ever tell you about that rooster that jumped on my back when I was little? She's like, no, I just thought, because it's voodoo and stuff. And the funny thing, she's vegetarian. She doesn't eat meat either. So for us to write an episode about killing animals is hilarious. So if I had my choice, I know that I want Monia to help write a couple of episodes because she's also funny. And I want to see what her spin on things. But definitely if Brandy's available to write, she will be my go-to because she's got a twisted mind, y'all. Be crazy.
We like
So do I.
I think that's right.
Oh yeah, it's like right up my alley. So it's great.
Yeah, I think we discussed that a while back.
Yeah.
I keep drinking this. It's not beer. It looks like it. I don't drink alcohol, so it's kind of funny. It's kombucha, Better Booch, locally sourced in California. And I have not been paid for this advertisement.
No.
But anyway, just making sure that you guys don't think I'm, pounding a beer here.
She's a boozer.
And I keep I feeling on myself like a freaking 4-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that took a minute. Back to you.
Yes.
Back to you.
Speaking of writing, can you tell me about your creative processes? Currently, Sonalii handles the pen, obviously, but you seem to work well together. Can you tell us a little bit about your creative day?
Hi. Honestly, do you want me to be? This is gonna be it's not very impressive. You want to know what my creative process is? Geez, I wonder what I want to write about next. Well, there was that one time. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, done. Move on to the next. That's honestly, that shit just come out and I have to write it when it comes out or I have to make notes. I don't sit down. I don't do a lot of planning. I go out about my day and shit just comes out. And so as far as the writing, I just write what makes me laugh. I just think about memories and I take a bit of reality and then I throw, fantasy to it. So I'm not a writer, dude. I didn't set out to, I think we had this conversation. I didn't set out to be an actress to write.
Yeah.
It's just that I wasn't given, I audition a lot and a lot of the things that I love get given to people who aren't even Spanish, which that's another subject for some conversation. But you know what I mean? So I had to learn. I had to learn how to write a script. I had to learn how to put my thoughts, on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Much better.
So honestly, I don't have a creative process. For me, it just comes and then I sit down and I have to write it out. And because these episodes were so short, it's literally putting myself in Alex's shoes and whoever else is going to visit that day, and my own sense of humor, it's what makes me laugh. And that's literally, I get an idea and I sit down and I write it out and then I'm done. And it worked out for Voodoo Vanessa that I didn't have to have rewrites. I just did what I wanted because it's my show and I think I'm funny. That's what I do. Thank you.
Yeah, I know you recently, Voodoo Vanessa had its first cinema screening. How did that go? And how was online and film festival responding?
It was fun.
It was very fun. It had been a while since I saw it, so it was really, really fun to see it on the big screen. And people were laughing, and then it won. So honestly, that's a pretty good day. You know what I mean? It could be a lot worse. So yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, it was amazing. With Monia, it was that day. It's nerve-wracking.
Mm-hmm.
It was nerve-wracking because I am going to have people judging my baby, judging my work. And I'm so protective. And it was very humbling because here I am with, our series with all these other people who have huge budgets and all these actors and this producer and that producer and blah, blah, blah. And here we are, two girls, who, did this thing. And I thought, honestly, at first I'm like, oh, they probably just want something else to add in it. But we got there and I'm sitting down and I'm like this. It's like, this one is over here looking all glamorous and beautiful and just like this. And I'm literally like this. I'm like pulling on my ears and pulling on my hair as like a nervous tick. And people just started laughing right away. And I was like, huh? And I just stood still and stopped breathing. I literally stopped breathing. And the laughter just kept on coming. And the smile on my face, I can't even tell you because it wasn't pity laughs. it was genuinely like belly laughs. And for me, that was the biggest compliment.
I think
You know.
the validation of an audience, you know, in this case, it's a comedy. So when people laugh, you're like, yay. Everything I do, when people cry, I'm like, yay. So, you know, because it's so different. And piggybacking on like the whole creative process of Sonalii, it's actually funny when she said, I think, you know, what makes me laugh, and then I write it down. In my case, what pisses me off, and then I write it down. So it's completely different. Like, you know, so everybody, yeah, it's funny because you're like, oh, what makes me laugh? And I'm like, oh, what makes me really upset and angry and want to punch a wall? And, you know, let's make a movie about that, you know? So, and music, because I write music too, I wrote a little bit for Voodoo Vanessa. And my films and all of that is also like when I'm really sad, you know, that's when the creative juices flow. And I'm not like a negative person. I'm European, I'm half European, so I'm negative just by being half European. But I fight that so much. But it's like it's when, you know, it's true. You know, we're like, oh no, I don't like that. That's disgusting. You know, like that's you know, take that back. That's that, you know, that. I fight that. So I don't think I'm a negative person, but I think just being half European, I have that darkness in me, but that's where the creativity comes out. So I'm like, you know what? I embrace it. It's fine. You know, when I'm like on the piano, I'm like, ooh, this is pretty good. You know, so, and same when I write my script. So yeah. So that was piggybacking on.
Wait until you hear the music for the love of hate. I'm just like, wow, this is a really beautiful song, but Jesus, I'm depressed. I just want to go.
Here, have some better mooch.
I think that's a Monia thing.
Huh?
I think that's a Monia thing.
Yeah, Monia, you know, no, she wrote the score, and she sent it to me. She goes, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Well, I want to slit my wrists." But it's very like, you know, it's very, I don't say that lightly. It's so emotional. And I'm like, okay, you do the serious shit. I'm just gonna kick ass and make people laugh. You keep that to yourself.
And we compliment each other that way.
Very well. An ad.
Yes.
From what I understand, you're both polyglots. Tell us a bit about how many languages you speak and which ones.
Hope. No, she beats me. No, dude. I'm like,
You've got like 6, I think.
That's 5, right?
Yeah, like 5.5. Like,
IMDb says 6, so you go 6.
you know why the half? Because I lived in Brazil for 9 months, and I used to be fluent in Portuguese, and then I thought I forgot how to speak Portuguese until I went to my boyfriend's parents' house, and they're from Brazil, and I was like, oh my gosh, I still speak Portuguese, and I had no idea.
So now you speak 6 languages.
So now I speak 6, which is great.
As you do, you just have no idea you can speak a language.
What's that?
As you do, you have no idea you can speak a language.
That I had no idea?
Yeah, you
Sorry.
can speak a language without having an idea you could.
Yeah, no. I think it was in my brain somewhere. I think like once you learn one, you learn many. Like I was born and raised in Belgium, right? So automatically we speak 2 languages, French and Dutch. That's just kind of like how it is. And then I've always liked languages, and it was always easy. I think it's from music, because I think to me languages is like music. And so honestly, I just copy sounds. It's not that I'm smarter than anyone else. It's just that I'm like, oh, this makes sense, and then I just copy it. So basically, I'm a copycat. And then
You're a parrot.
what?
A parrot.
I'm a parrot. Exactly. I'm like I repeat what I'm told. No, but it's interesting. Like there's a funny thing. If I haven't heard a word before, I don't know how to say it. So sometimes I'll get that with English, but honestly, like once a year, I'm like, oh, how do you, like if I read it, I'm like, how do you say that? And I have to hear it. So then it's in my brain and it's there forever. But English would be my 3rd language then, I guess. So French is my 1st, Dutch is my 2nd, English is my 3rd. English, honestly, is because I was a huge fan of the Backstreet Boys, which, you know, is very intellectual. And
Lost all respect.
I know, that's it.
Live
on YouTube. And I wanted to understand what they were saying. Like I was in love with Brian Littrell. I had posters of him all around. Like it was bad, you guys. It was bad. You know this. You don't know this? How do you know? This is who I am. I am who I am.
So much material.
So much material. And I wanted to, you know, honestly, no, I don't want to, you know. it was better when I didn't understand what they were saying, you know. But then so that, and then what's 4 then? It's Spanish because I lived in Spain and then South America.
Don't you speak
Arabic from my dad, Tunisian Arabic from my dad, and then Portuguese, which I didn't know I spoke anymore. So and then Sonalii.
Yeah, I speak Spanish, French, and English. What's up?
What's up?
Excuse me.
What's
it
up?
doesn't sound as impressive when the Pope is sitting next to you.
Stop it.
So I am from Santo Domingo, so I speak Spanish as my first language, and then I moved to French, so French was my second language. And when I came to America, all I spoke was French. I had to learn Spanish, and I had to learn how to speak English. So I have the same exact accent in every language that I speak, which nobody understands where the hell I'm from. So it works.
It works.
Perfect.
Perfecto. Parfait.
So we're just a bunch of polyglots.
Just 2 of us. So I'm a Gemini, so really 3 of us. There's 2 of me.
I'm a Sagittarius. There's fire. So great. Okay, yeah, sorry, back to you. We can go on forever.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now transition to Shay for any follow-up questions and to from the audience.
Did we scare you, Tim? I'm sorry,
No,
Tim.
no. No, I think Shay's got some audience questions, so we'll
Run away.
Run away.
Thank you, ladies, so much. And thank you so much for your time. For those of you just tuning in, we're talking to Sonalii Castillo of Mamba, Dalius, and The Outpost, and Monia Ayachi of Igno Fear and For the Love of Hate. They're both 2 fantastic creators, writers, producers, actresses, and more, and are working together on a fresh show named Voodoo Vanessa, which we're covering today. Make sure to watch back after the live cast ends to make sure you don't miss their fantastic portfolios and features of their work. I'll also be asking a few questions of my own and then deferring to the audience. So, really and truly, I only have one question. And it's because we've got some good audience questions for you. These guys have been on fire. It's awesome. But one thing I do have to know, you 2 have the best facial expressions I have ever seen. Especially on Voodoo Vanessa. It really brings the show to life. So I gotta know, is this something that y'all practice in the mirror, or is it something that just comes naturally to you?
Oh, we just do it, dude.
You know, when you act like, you know, you're in the moment, right? So if this situation happens to you in real life, you know, what would be your reaction and what would be your facial expression? So good acting, right, is supposed to be organic acting. So it's not like, oh, I'm so shocked, you know, like if something shocks you in real life and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, that's like, okay, turn that shit off, right? So it's yeah, I don't think we've worked,
Nope.
you know.
We didn't even rehearse. What are you talking about?
I know.
Like, here's what's
Yeah,
happening.
And let's do it.
And that's it, you know?
But
that's completely fair. You're very welcome. Like, just quick commentary. I do have to say, the moment that absolutely killed me in Voodoo Vanessa was the scene of Alex laying in the bed after the ghost came into her room. That was the greatest thing.
Is there?
So, do
right
what?
there. It was very hard not to laugh. Right there. I can feel that. I was like, no, just keep dipping. We shot that at my house, by the way. So like, that's my bed. You know, I feel violated now.
Oh my God. You know, that almost sounds dirty. How many men have been in your room? Well, if you count the YouTubers.
I know. Oh, God.
She's had a lot of people in her bedroom.
Daddy, don't watch.
Oh, goodness. All right. So I've got a couple of audience questions for you. So we'll start with the serious ones. Stacy wanted to know what we can do to support or help get Voodoo Vanessa in the eye of Netflix or someone to look at it as an audience.
Thank you. Demand it. When we do Twitter, I'm actually going to start a Voodoo Vanessa channel now that she's getting popularity. It's just
a she.
It is a she.
It is a she.
She's a series. Series is female, by the way. No, I definitely, now that we we have traction, now that there's interest, now that the audiences are loving it,
And that it won.
and
which
that
is,
it
you know,
won, we are
it's
officially
amazing.
2 words. We're officially an award-winning web series. It's gonna be once I start, it's just the audience wanting to see it, so that when I'm ready to pitch my, the series to a network or to Netflix, I can say, look, people want to see this. People are interested. People love the humor. People love the characters.
Yeah.
Because the reason for doing this is because the reason why Voodoo Vanessa works is because of our chemistry. Nobody else is gonna play like Alex. Nobody else is gonna play Vanessa. So it's just the audience already falling in love with the characters and the actors and demanding it to be a regular show. And so that's gonna help me a lot when the pitching begins, to show that, hey, people like it and people want to see it.
And, share it, comment, send it to your aunt, your aunt's aunt, your aunt's aunt's goat.
Your grandma, your grandmother will laugh.
Grandmother. So I think the more views it gets, like you want it to get traction online as well. So share it, watch it, and comment. Only good comments, please. Let's not shit on our project.
I do have ancestors that can send in your.
I know. You don't want to mess with them. You do not. So yeah, I think And
Do you have a hashtag that Twitter or Instagram followers can use?
Right now, it's just when I post on my personal Twitter account, it's just hashtag Voodoo Vanessa. But once I start her own account, it's gonna be, make Voodoo Vanessa into it. Like I'll find something short.
And it's VOODOO.
Yeah, VOODOO.
Yeah,
it's Voodoo Vanessa.
Okay.
And then so I'll have to find a short kind of,
VV.
VV
I
on
don't
Netflix?
Huh?
VV on Netflix?
Netflix. Yes,
VV
Tim.
on Netflix.
Yes.
Get VV on Netflix.
Yes. You know
Hashtag
why?
get VV on Netflix.
Because Netflix is gonna let me do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
So if anything, I think I do want to put it on Netflix, actually, now that we talk about it. Netflix, if you're listening,
Hi Netflix.
hi Netflix. We are very serious actresses.
Right.
I'm a very serious writer and producer. Fuck no. So anyways, come on board. Join the dark side, Netflix. Come on.
The dark side. Featured
Oh.
two multicultural actresses, right? That we're not really being represented so much on TV.
Nope.
And today is the day of diversity. So we got a Caribbean and a Belgian Tunisian. So put us on TV, Netflix. You won't regret it.
You won't.
I'm like,
So the next question is from Catherine. And she wanted to know, and it's mostly for audience clarification, did you, Sonalii, write Voodoo Vanessa by yourself?
Yes. 100%.
That answers that. All right, now we can have some. We have some fun questions too. Kelsey wanted to know, how long would either of you survive in a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, bitch, please. Those zombies are gonna be like high. I will figure out a way to get something in that pea dead brain of yours, and you're gonna be my slaves, bitch. Alex will thrive in an apocalypse. Of course, there'll be a bad guy, and we're gonna have to probably fight it out. But come on, seriously? Between my ass kicking and my magic and stuff, come on. Done.
The two survivors.
Done.
We'd make friends with them probably.
Are you kidding?
Like
We'll
they'd be
bring
like,
them back
hey,
to
bring them
life.
over.
Bring them back to life.
Guys, let's talk about what goes on in your head. Like why are you so angry?
Why are you grunting? Why are you grunting
Come
so
on
much?
over. Come on over. Let's all be friends, and then that's it, right?
I make you cafecito. She'll make you some waffles.
I make you some croissant. It'd be perfect. Some couscous.
We got this.
Yeah, Monia and Sonalii, the zombie therapists.
Yes. Another show. Copyright, Mona.
Sorry.
So Catherine also wanted to know, what are your favorite shows to watch?
Ooh, you go first. My list is very long.
Again, me and my dark brain. Handmaid's Tale is honestly my number one. It's so messed up, and I love it. I love smart shows because that's kind of what I tend to, not to throw flowers at myself, but it's that's my jam. I like shows that make me think. So definitely Handmaid's Tale. I just started something else. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Well, honestly, Friends is not that smart, so it's completely, I'm a Gemini, so it's like, oh, I like smart shows, but I like Friends. But just for like funny, whatever. That's also what helped me learn English. So I think that has an emotional attachment to it. And I just started watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's so well written. I love well written shows. I want more well written shows because I think some of them are just like, huh? And that bothers me. When the acting is bad and when the writing is bad, I'm like, honestly, like you just wasted 4 minutes of my life that I will never get back. So those are my 2 shows that I'm watching at the moment, although I'm done with Handmaid's Tale until next year. And I'm always open to suggestions of wonderful and smart shows. And yeah, the dad in the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, I think, is one of the funniest actors on TV right now. And he's been around, and congratulations, I forget what his name is. And there's always one line on the show where I'm dying, and I'm really critical of what I think is funny. So I was like, oh, this is great. So that's my thing. And then Handmaid's Tale when I want to kill myself. So
Fair.
depending when I want to write really sad music or like a script, I watch Handmaid's Tale. When I just want to entertain myself, I watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
I have to check those out.
It's really good.
So we had a double question. 2 people asked the same question. Kelsey and Stacy wanted to know, Garrett or Jonzo, aka Team Dimples or Team Eyebrows?
Oh, that's a hard one. Okay, so just listen to my reasoning. Okay, just listen to my reasoning. It's stuck in the middle. This is why. The girl in me loves soft, smart. Oh, Jonzo, he's really smart and he's so awkward and cute. Because I'm really awkward and whatever this is going on. Cute. So I love Jonzo, right? But I'm a woman, and then you got Garrett that shows up, and he's just a man. And I'm like, he's got dimples and these great eyes, and I'm just like, so it depends on who wakes up that day. If it's needy Sonalii that wants love and just wants a hug, then I'm all Team Jonzo. All Team Jonzo. If angry Sonalii gets up, and I've been single for a while, and angry Sonalii wakes up, and I'm just in one of those moods, I'm like, Garrett all the way. So I'm in the middle. I love them both. Sorry.
Monia, do you have an opinion?
About
Have you seen it? You haven't seen it yet, have you?
No.
Okay.
Okay, well, she does again.
She's waiting for me to show up.
I am.
She's waiting for me to show up before she watches the show. So, quick recap. So, Jonzo.
Yeah.
Jonzo is a recluse. He's a brewer.
Okay.
But he's also a scientist. He's really, really smart.
Oh, that's smart.
Speaks over 15 languages, by the way. So you would like him. But he comes off as very shy and reserved in the beginning.
Okay.
And as the show has been going on, he shows more of his character. And he's given more strength because Talon, the lead of the show, has actually needed his help. So it's giving him the confidence to be more outspoken. So even though he's sweet and cute and just very mousy, he's starting to show his real character, and you see how smart he is. So he's definitely the intellectual part.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett is a knight.
Garrett.
Garrett is the knight in shining armor who is currently stuck in a love triangle between the lead Talon and the other lead Gwen, who we just found out is secretly the queen. So him and Gwen had a thing going on, but now that she's going to become the queen, they had to stop. And then Talon shows up, who's 100% opposite from Gwen, and kind of takes his interest. But he's really hot. The actor worked really, really hard for that body. And when he smiles, he has his beautiful dimples. So you have the innocent 12-year-old girl that, Jonzo. But then you have the woman that goes, I just want to lick his abs.
Ooh, there's going to be some ab licking. My boyfriend is watching this, so I'm not going to say I'm going to lick anyone's ass. So that's going to be all you.
I'm single. I don't do
ab licking. I'm going to go with dimples because my man has them.
Okay. Good answer.
But yeah.
That's a safe answer.
That's the South, honey. And then you get my real answer. Joking. Yeah.
Okay, I have one last question from our audience, and that is, can we watch Monia's Ignofear film? Is it out for public?
Yes, I actually had kept it private for the longest time because it was doing its festival run, and I wanted to focus on that first. And then I got really pissed off a few months ago. Again, it's me and getting pissed off. And when the whole immigration thing started going on, and people were really angry, and they were like, "Oh, this isn't blah, 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 blah." I was like, you know what? Like, I woke up that day, I was like, I'm gonna share it. And so it is public. So if you guys want to give them the link that I gave you, that's perfectly fine. And so that they know what I'm talking about when I talk about it in a couple weeks with you guys.
We'll put it on the website and in the description.
Awesome, great. So yes, you can watch it. And again, it's gonna piss off some people. Some people are like, "Oh, how can you
Get your
make that
tissues.
comparison?"
Yeah.
Get your tissues. Again, this is based on a true story. So it was, as I was writing it, I was crying. But again, like, this is me and my creative process. So every time you see a new script or a new film, just picture me bawling my eyes out as I'm doing it, So yes, but yes, it is public. And thank you guys for
Go
being so
watch it,
supportive
y'all.
of it. Thank you. So appreciate it.
Yes, thank you again, Sonalii and Monia, for joining us today for this special interview. Hold on.
Hold on. Hold for camera.
I'm giving one quick second to jump in here. We ran, a little bit late, and we had very loyal fans here waiting for you. Shay's going to give a technical readout and closure, but if you guys want to stay for a couple of extra minutes, as long as you want to banter with the fans who were good, we are over time, but you guys are glorious. You are fantastic, and I wanted to let the audience know that there's a fantastic sizzle reel, and it's kind of a collaborative describing the bulk of their features and their skills and accomplishments and everything. I will be uploading to the channel about 10 minutes after the feed ends. That said, I will leave for Shay to technically read us out, and then after that, go ahead and enjoy.
Thank you.
We really appreciate both of you giving us your time with us today. For our audience, Sonalii will be joining us next week alongside the Outpost actor Trent Taylor for our weekly interview with the Outpost cast members to discuss episode 6 and Essa's grand entrance, as well as cover a mix of Trent's work on the Outpost and his rapidly growing career. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Shay. This is TJ, and that's Min. And we at Cult Fans look forward to seeing you next week to talk more about the Outpost. For now, see you later.
Now, for those who are staying for the banter, you, Miss Sonalii, ducked answering your favorite TV shows. You put that all on Monia, and you didn't answer.
All right. Here's why. I
Vanessa.
have ADD when it comes to television shows. Depending on the mood I wake up. I was very angry 2 weeks ago, and I decided to watch American Gods. Straight through. Like, straight through. I binged the entire season, and I fucking love it.
That's the way to go.
So, that's a great one.
It's good, though.
It's a good show.
Thanks to Tim. Tim actually introduced me to this one. I suck at the title. Tim, what's the title?
One Day at a Time.
One Day at a Time. I had no idea that this show was even on, by the way, and I binged, I think, how many seasons? 2?
2 seasons. Super gay.
I binged that out. I finished it yesterday, and I'm like, okay, so finally a Latino show that I can relate to, because they're Cubans, and the Cubans and Dominicans, our mannerisms, it's not identical. Obviously, we're different. The food is a little bit different, the flavors and things, but it's Caribbean, so you have that big expression and that passionate. And they touch on a lot of different subjects from the daughter is gay and the father couldn't accept her, and the mom and the grandmother had to accept her, and the mom suffers from depression, and it actually talks about real things that are happening today. So after the first episode, I was so glued to it, and I hope that I'll be able to audition for that show because I would love to be part of that show. So that's another one. I'm definitely
We're We're trying to get Sonalii on one day at a time. So just at Netflix a lot.
Get Sonalii on one day at a time.
Yes.
Get Sonalii on everything.
Yes.
Um,
Get Sonalii on it.
So you know me, I'm huge. Yes, I love action and I love fantasy. Those are my top two things to watch. So if we're talking about shows, I do watch the Flash and I watch the Arrow, and there's so many more. It's such a long list. You know, I have Grey's Anatomy. I've been a fan of Grey's Anatomy since it started. You have, hold on. Wow, I watch a lot of television. Holy shit, I'm in the right business. You have, Game of Thrones. Oh, do you know how angry I am that I was not able to be on Game of Thrones?
Represent.
But that's okay. So good. I love Game of Thrones before it became popular. Okay. Them dragons. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I haven't watched The Handmaid's Tale, and this is why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I stopped lighting candles a very long time ago. And if I watch a show where women get mistreated that badly, from what I hear, I will lose my shit. So unfortunately, I am not in a mental capacity that I can sit down and watch The Handmaid's Tale, even if it's beautiful writing and it's smart.
I like how you went beautiful.
Oh, no. See, no, I'm an angry little monkey. And I've been very good at not going off on Twitter about certain things. And that will for sure get me fired from every job I will ever have in the future. So no, Handmaid's Tale is put on the back burner for now. No, so I watch all of the one that my big brother got me into, which I'm gonna start watching next. I'm gonna really fuck up the name. It's something Hannah, whatever, Tales.
Hannah Montana.
No, oh my god. No, it's fantasy. Jesus. It's fantasy. It's somebody compared The Outpost to it. Shana
Donatova?
No.
Oh, the Shannara Chronicles.
Huh?
The Shannara Chronicles.
So
It got cancelled though.
So that's next on my list. But all of the CW shows, The Vampire, The Witches, it's like the show the original's just finished. I watch a lot of things that I want to be a part of. Like my new favorite show that I watch, I'm waiting for it to come back. I was pissed about Lucifer, but it was saved, so I guess I'm gonna watch it on Netflix now. Thank God.
Yes.
I really wanted to be on that show. So I hope I get the chance, because I'll make a perfect devil. But then there's also so I love that show, but then there's also, it was just on the tip of my tongue. This is why you have to ask me specific questions, because I forget, because I just talk and I don't shut up. So you have Lucifer, but then you have, what's that other one? Damn it! It's another magic show.
Magicians?
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Oh, boy, did I have fun. And I'm like, that sigil wasn't right for that one. Nope, that sigil actually belongs to these people.
Feelings as a Supernatural fan. I feel that in my core.
Okay, wait, I'm going to shock and piss off a lot of people. Do you know that I've never watched Supernatural?
How dare you?
Oh, no.
I know.
I will turn you. I will turn you.
But you know why? Because I auditioned for it once, and then I've been once, a long time ago, and I didn't get it, and I saw who got the part, and I got pissed off, and I said,
Who got it? Tell me.
So I'm butthurt. No. I'm very happy for that actress. It's okay. So that's why I stopped watching it, and now it's been so many freaking seasons. For me to go back, I'm gonna be like 65 by the time I'm done watching it. You know who I like? Speaking of action, Lethal Weapon. There's not a lot of movies that the remakes into television shows have worked, but I gotta tell you, the Lethal Weapon, brilliant. And I hope I get to audition for that show too. I would love to be on that show, because it's kick-ass, it's smart, the humor is great. So it's like I'm night and day with what I like. I only watch shows that I want to be on, to be really honest with you. If I know that I would never fit in for a show that I kind of know now, because I've been doing it for a minute, watch shows I will never book. I know. So honestly, I don't waste my time on those shows. I only watch the shows that I feel that I'll be good on, because I like to be current on everything.
Did you ever get to an Empire?
Huh?
You guys ever get Strange Empire?
No,
That was a good show.
I don't watch it.
Tim, you're like an encyclopedia for
I know.
for TV shows.
No, you know what? I don't. No, nope, never watched that show.
You know
I
what?
Got one request for you.
Huh?
Do your little girl voice from Voodoo Vanessa.
Oh, it's gonna be very weird because I literally have to regress to being 4.
It's
This is how this
funny
works.
though.
Do it.
Tim, so I gotta tell you that I don't. Oh, damn it. I broke your dinosaur. You know the dinosaur that you had? He was in the other room over, and you told me not to touch it. I touched it. I broke it. Sorry, Tim. Sorry.
Gold.
Deadpan face during that. Like, I don't know how.
Am I allowed to like pull this video once we're done and turn that into a GIF?
Yeah.
You have my permission.
Oh, that never gets old.
Yeah, just
I only did that the other day out of nowhere in the middle of a conversation. I just lost it. I
But
just
you-
in the middle of chatting.
You're not gonna take me seriously now when they watch Essa. What the fuck?
They are.
Just did that voice as Esther the whole time. Just do that little girl voice and go, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh no, I do it. I do the voice when I do the kitten videos. Just because there's a lot going on with Essa that I can't reveal until you see her on Tuesday. I'm gonna post the kitten videos so you can see, but I can't. But I actually use that voice.
I mean, in the show itself as Esther, like you should do that. I'm gonna kill you, but in little girl voice.
Oh no, I'm trying to tell you, it's what I did with this kitten was very creepy. So that's why I'm posting the cute. I'm posting the cute stuff now because when I release the videos with that voice, the way I look is creepy as fuck.
YouTube.
Oh, sorry. Listen, okay.
Only swearing, apparently.
There's a disclaimer. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I've never done drugs. I don't party. I don't do anything. I have one vice, and that's my potty mouth. I can be polite when it calls for it. But fuck! Thank you!
That's literally what we created, to be uncensored. So go for it.
Aren't we glad we technically officially wrapped? Let it all out now that we're post-wrap.
Oh, yeah. Hello. I walk into a bar, the sailors come running out.
Good line.
Anyway, I do think we've had a great time. Tim, if you could see us out since you're the one with the live button, but let the ladies say their goodbye to any fans that are still watching.
Talking to you guys.
So nice seeing you.
Thank you for everyone joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Mwah.
Bye.